3 sentenced to death for blasphemy in Pakistan. In Pakistan, an anti-terrorism court, for those who are unfamiliar, we say terrorism to avoid YouTube flagging this algorithms. We mean people who do boom boom type of things.
Boom boom people, the boom boom people.
Okay. So in Pakistan, an anti-terrorism court sentenced 3 people to death for social media posts insulting the Prophet Muhammad. According to the Federal Investigative Agency, or FIA, which has been investigating the cases since 2017, 2 men were charged with spreading sacrilegious ideas on social media using fake profiles. A 3rd man allegedly uploaded blasphemous content to YouTube. A 4th man was also accused of spreading blasphemy within his classroom. The 4 accused were arrested in September of 2017, when they pled not guilty to those charges. This is Pakistan's first case where the accused are convicted for expressing blasphemous ideas on social media. According to the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom, Pakistan has dozens of convicts on death row or serving life imprisonment for committing blasphemy. So what we have embedded in the article is what is alleged to have been some of the blasphemous lecture or content from that professor. Now, the professor was not actually sentenced to death, but the other 3 were.
So somebody was recording the professor and he said something blasphemous, and that's why they're in trouble now?
That's that one specific individual.
Okay, that's and by the way, I was managing things behind it. Did you mention that in Pakistan people have been being accused of sentenced to death for blasphemy left and right? However, my understanding is that as of right now, nobody has yet been executed for blasphemy in Pakistan by the government, right?
I didn't mention that, but you are correct.
Right. So a lot of people have died in Pakistan for blasphemy, but that's usually because the mob got to them before the government, right? So even though tons of people have been charged, have been sentenced to death for blasphemy in Pakistan, and the numbers are rising, most of them, I mean, none of them have yet been executed by the government of Pakistan. But that doesn't mean but a lot of people have been killed for blasphemy, but that's not because the government did it, but because the people did it themselves. So they don't trust the government to actually carry out the execution. So a lot of these death sentences are because the government is in Pakistan is actually very afraid of its own religious community, right? So this is mostly the government trying to appease the crowd, but a lot of religious people in Pakistan they're like, yeah, you guys are actually not doing what you're supposed to do. We see you, government, we see you handing out death sentences, but you're actually not carrying them out. So just let them free, so we could do it for you. That's what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, the religious community in Pakistan has assassinated their own governors, like Salman Taseer. Yeah, they'll assassinate their own politicians, and then I believe what was his killer's name, Qadri or something. I believe they even built a mosque in his name after assassinating Salman Taseer for merely pushing back against putting Asia Bibi on death row for blasphemy, just to give you an idea of how severe the situation is. Yeah, just to in regards to that 4th individual, the college instructor, he was sentenced to a fine and a 10-year jail term for promulgating blasphemous views while lecturing to his students. And that clip that we showed subsequently went viral. The prosecution produced 19 witnesses to testify against the accused. However, the court would not admit any witnesses that had any blood relations to the accused. They Okay, the four men convicted of blasphemy have the opportunity to appeal to the anti-terrorism court decisions in 2 higher courts. So they can still petition the court to overturn their conviction or to plead for mercy from the president directly. And since 1980, approximately 80 people were victims of extrajudicial mob killings before their trials could even complete the court process. So it's like if Pakistan, the state, may not have executed you for blasphemy, but the mob definitely can or will. To give some more context of how frequent this is, more than almost 1,300 cases of blasphemy were filed in Pakistan between 2011 and 2015. And there are, I follow a person on Twitter who documents all of the ongoing cases that are filed with the police in Pakistan. And there will be dozens by the month. And it seems to be escalating due to the increasing availability of phones and social media. Imam Hussein, do you want me to read that?
No,
said, that's a good point considering the leader of that country is an Oxford-educated athlete who panders to his crowd. It's hard to believe he is this ignorant on enlightenment. Well, I don't think he is ignorant. I think he is a politician. I think he has to pander to his base. Like when Khadim Rizvi died, he was putting out tweets about, his condolences for this extremely hardline religious leader who put a fatwa on the son of Salman Taseer, who Armin and I both talked to recently. Armin interviewed him on Secular Jihadist. Rosalind is saying this is Khadim Rizvi's legacy. There's a lot that goes into this. I mean, it's an entire environment that goes around this, right? He's not solely responsible for this environment. He maybe utilized it or mobilized it particularly effectively, but it's not exclusively his fault. Although, he did call for. I don't even know if I can say what he says. I don't even think I can say what he said on YouTube. He wanted the country of France to be completely wiped off the map, for example, because Macron defended simply the right to create cartoons of prophet, not even defending doing that specifically himself. I'm very passionate about the issue of blasphemy, specifically in Pakistan, and so I wanted to make sure we highlighted this news this week. Should we go to the next news?
Yeah, but just last comment I'm going to read, and by Imam Hussein, saying the biggest victims of these blasphemy cases are Ahmadi and Shia Muslims. Yeah, the main victims are not even non-Muslims; they're Muslims themselves.
Mm-hmm. Although they do come after Sikhs and Hindus, that's for sure.
Yes, yeah, but in number-wise, the main victims are still Muslim. And also subscribe to our newsletter, because if we get removed from all these platforms, at least we could reach out to you. And guys, by the way, if you subscribe to our newsletter, you get a free copy of where's your copy, Susanna? Get it. We're doing promotion. You get a free, it's not even promotion, it's free. Okay, so if you subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description, you get a free copy of Why There's No God. Come on, I'm handing it out for free. Okay, it's a bestseller on Amazon, and you get it for free. So subscribe to our newsletter, and you get a free copy of Why There's No God sent to you. Link in the description.